Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the after show for our D&D session here today, where we were checking out a whole bunch of stuff that had happened at the Bowerstone Boys base. I guess the combat took up about half of the episode, and then the other
They were
half
more
was
like
looking around.
the Bowerstone zombies. I mean, whatever.
They definitely...
Yeah,
they
someone
had-
got to him first.
Yeah, they had a real rough day. They had a real rough day. Although, how did you guys feel about the combat here today? You know, did you guys feel like it was exhilarating? You feel like you were threatened? I wanted you guys to feel overwhelmed on that one because I wanted you to feel like retreat was an option. Like if you wanted to run away and figure out a way to like booby trap the zombies or whatever, that was kind of what I was leaning towards.
After I learned that someone was alive, Dax was going to be like all in to trying to save a hostage.
Yeah.
And with Dax committed to staying, I think pretty much all of us were committed to staying. I mean, unless Dax got overrun, then we would have run away. Be like, yeah, he's gone.
I was starting to fall back and be ready to just break and go for it, but then I summoned a dragon, and then everything was fine.
Yeah, honestly,
That said, we can only do that once. So.
Well, I'm not saying that was like a dumb thing. It's like it's gone now, and I'd forgotten that. So I was like, yeah, I don't see how we get out of this until I was like, oh yeah, we do have this one-time use thing that we can use.
That's
as an
what I like
emergency.
to. I really like to do that as a GM. Is I like to give the players oh shit buttons because like in a lot of tabletop experiences, it can suck to where, as a GM, it can be difficult to balance an encounter. And so I like to give my players like extra little things just in case I balance wrong against the players where they're like totally overwhelmed. You just give them like a little thing where if they remember it, they're like, oh yeah, let's see what happens.
It also helps that like if you have an episode where you roll terribly, like we were doing today, like our rolls were not on point.
So many ones.
No, that's a really good point. You guys should have been perfectly fine with that combat, but it was just like the dice did not love you today. They did not. And luckily my dice started to fail after the first couple turns too, and so it was turning into one of those whiff fests, you know, where both sides are just trying to hit each other over and over again.
I like we had Frog because he was just a punching bag.
Poor Frog. Oh my god.
Frog had a rough day. I do like the new injury system though. It makes it feel like what I wanted to do is because it's very, very easy to exploit in D&D and be like, I heal you for one, just over and over and over again as you get knocked out over and over and over again. You add the injury system in, and you start being like, maybe we leave him down because he got a really bad wound last time. Maybe he'll get something like a scar the next time, but maybe he'll lose like an arm or a leg the next time. Who knows?
I mean, when it's like you've got multiple healers in the group, especially people with like healing word for range heals, then yeah, it can feel like that. Although with me at the moment, I'm just like, if one person goes down, they need to be up like straight away and hopefully with a bit of health, because otherwise someone else goes down, like I have to pick.
Yeah, I feel like you don't have enough actions. Like every single turn, there's always like a party support option for you, and then there's like I could just nuke them though, and that might support the party even better. Like I always feel like you're gambling between saving somebody with a healing spell or nuking the shit out of somebody and just removing the threat altogether.
My nukes are really low. Like mine tend to be control options, but like Shen has all the nukes.
I don't know, man. That
armor,
guiding bolt does more damage than anything I can do.
It's 46 at second level. Is it 5? I think it's 46. It's 3d6 at level
I have
1.
Pretty good
nothing.
damage.
I have
Really?
nothing that does that much damage.
Even a level 1 spell?
Mm-mm. The best I have is 2d8.
At level 1?
No, at level 1.
Really? Damn.
But I have been
Guiding-
focusing on spells for poison damage because that's what Adavi is. He's focused on
Do
poison
they give
damage.
the poison effect status then?
Let me check.
Because the poison effect status is once they have it, they're disadvantaged for like everything until someone casts like a lesser restoration or something. Like it's a really powerful effect.
Let's see. 2d8, and then they have to do a con saving throw or they're poisoned. Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's really good, because being disadvantaged on everything for basically ever, unless someone's got like lesser restoration, is amazing.
Yeah, it's just Adavi's learning that in the real world, instead of just practicing on shit, you know what? Some things are resistant to poison. No.
Yeah, poison sadly like is one of the spells that gets the raw end of the stick when it comes to spells. Like poison
That's
spells
fine.
just suck.
You know what didn't suck? What didn't suck is the battlefield got wet, and Adavi's like, set stuff with lightning. Yay!
Shocking
That
graphics
worked
is
out
amazing.
pretty good.
cantrip.
I like just how many different effects stacked there to turn something that is usually you need physical contact spell to electrocute one person turn into lightning shocking 3 different things at range.
Yeah.
The only thing that's
I
GM
mean-
discretion there is that your
Well, yeah,
thing
that's the
applies
thing,
to
it's just
spells and
combining-
cantrips. Well, actually, one
Just
of the things
combining
there
a bunch
is
of different
that
things.
you can only use your meta magic stuff on spells, not cantrips, by Raw. But most people are like, yeah, the cantrips count. It's fine.
I honestly didn't know cantrips weren't considered as spells.
Technically, no. But it's completely down to like how the GM interprets it, because it could just be Raw saying spells, or it could be Raw saying spells, including cantrips.
Yeah, cantrips are like a subclass of spell, basically things too like tiny and insignificant for your notice, and so it's kind of one of those terminology sorting things.
Yeah.
I really like today's combat. I think you guys, aside from the horses, I think you would have pulled through okay, because the bottom was starting to clear out, and that heat metal spell did work. Like, that heat metal spell was really, really solid until you lost concentration.
Which is why I was totally fine with pulling back a fair amount. I was like, I'm just going to keep falling back, doing loads of damage, and we can, like, try and... But I didn't want to get into a fight in that open. Like, in the open, we'd have been surrounded. The alleyway certainly helped.
Yeah. And it's good... Go ahead.
I was really... The reason why I asked Mormon to use the statue was because we were having trouble handling what was in front of us, and there were more enemies coming in. And it's like, shit, just do something. And that really was the only thing I could think of at the time.
No, like, those horses,
we need something to handle this now.
When the horses arrived, that was the point where I'm like, okay, now is the time to start running away.
Yeah, like
if trying to think of
were they zombified war horses? Because I know the war horse stats are pretty dope. Like, war horses are crazy powerful.
They were all basically like almost the equivalent, except in HP, of Oscar. Like, it's basically the same stat sheet.
Yep.
I toned back some of their stuff, but in general, like, their attack gets like a +6, even though their strength
that's crazy
like,
good.
Yeah, it's a good attack roll, but like, frankly, I can't hit you guys with anything that has like a +2 or a +3, and so I fall back on things that have a little bit more of an attack roll to them, but I just make them a little bit more fragile. I tend to roll low on their HP just in case, so that you guys have exits and things like that. The war horses, they were supposed to make you like panic though. Like, they broke through quicker than they're supposed to too. They made really, really good rolls on like their first 3 attempts to break the fence, and it's things like that you just can't account for. It's just like, well, maybe the rolls get lucky and they break out early. And there was also the possibility that the horses never broke out at all, and you guys finished combat and they were just sitting in there neighing and going crazy. And so it's like, you never know what's going to happen once you start rolling dice.
That's what we need the Fireball spell for.
Fireball, I used the Fireball stats for that Fire Breath, and it was great. That worked out fantastically well.
I mean, you rolled above average by a long mark. Like, you rolled like 38 damage, average is 28, I think.
Yeah, I rolled 34
rolling that many
on
dice,
86.
Though, I mean, you could roll so low that it's like, well, what the fuck? It's like no impact.
Yeah, Fireball, that's what you're going to get, right, Adob? You're going to twin some Fireballs. Ba-chow, ba-chow.
Twin Fireballs on the same area. It's only level 3. Like, Fireball is like legit, like the best AoE spell until like level 5 or something.
I was like, if it was level 2, I might have had a shot, but it's a long time before I get level 3 spells.
I'm almost tempted to get it with my thing at level 6, because I can pick from another spell list, and it's like, it's just so good, and I do need to buy an offense spell from somewhere. At the same time, I could get like limited amount of resurrection.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you now, I've got 1 fire spell, I've got 1 water spell, and I've got 1 lightning spell. I'm probably not going to pick up another fire spell for a while.
Just spread it around a little bit. That's actually pretty smart, because as you get further into the game, resistances play in more and more and more.
Yeah.
Like, as you start to get to higher levels, like level 8, level 9, everything is resistant to something, whether they're either resistant or immune. Like zombies, that's your first introduction right there. Zombies are just straight immune to poison. Like, there's nothing you can do with it, and it starts to get that way for a lot of the monsters as you get higher level, where they'll just be immune to fire or immune to poison or immune to water.
That's the downside of fire. Fire immunity is so common.
Yeah, it's really common. Like, everything infernal, like everything draconic has fire resist. It's just like, you can't use it against the really, really stacked stuff, but if you're going up against like a whole bunch of mooks in like hand-to-hand combat with swords,
that's what you want Fireball for, though. Yeah, you want it for mook horde combat. Like, if it's a dedicated target, that's maybe more bard stuff. Like, you want to have the single target thing.
Yeah, I like today's combat. I felt like it was fun for me to play as well, and I felt like actually, aside from getting knocked out, Frog actually dealt a lot of damage. Like, every time he took a turn, he was getting really lucky and really, really helping you guys out. If he could have just stayed on his feet a little bit longer, I think what I would have done with his bonus action on his last turn is I would have cast with his ring instead of double attacking. But I was trying to move the game forward.
Is his ring a bonus action or is it an action? Because it was Cure Wounds, right?
I was going to treat it as a bonus action. I hadn't really decided. It was one of those improvised things that, I would have played around with it. Probably would have had it as a bonus action, though. And then you could use it maybe twice a week or something like that, 3 times a week. Or, keep charges that come back. Because it sucks to get a magical item that only does, 2 charges. Because the first charge you always figure out on accident. And then the second charge...
If you did, 1 charge per long rest, which is what, most items are, or, more, you learn it after a fight, and then you go, oh, well, I'll use it tomorrow, and then every time I get into a fight, you have 1 charge.
How pissed would you be as a GM if Davi used the Elven Water Staff to suck up some of this tainted water, bring it back to the circle, and just spray it on Lysander?
That might be bad for... just spraying him with normal water would be disrespectful on his own land. So you spray him with some stink nut water, and I think he's going to be a little bit upset about it.
At that point...
all the work...
Yeah,
all the work we've done for relations with Woodley would be ruined.
At that point, Dex would just be like, "Mormon, should we just leave?" Yeah, fine. I'm not taking
go
part
home.
in that.
Get on a ship. We're done here.
Yeah, you guys are getting towards the end of the Woodley arc right now. You're getting nearer to. There's probably about 4 or 5 sessions left until Woodley's done, and I've already got the storyline written for the second part, and I'm actually really, really, really happy with the second part.
I need to ask then, if Woodley's coming to a close here, then what stats is Mormon going to have when he finally turns into that giant wolf thing?
I'm not sure. I got to work on it. It'll probably be a challenge rating 2 or 3. I don't know. It'll be up there. He'll shapeshift into a shadow dog from now on.
I'm going to be the final boss.
Yep. It's going to slowly corrupt him bit by bit.
Lithia's going to be the final boss.
That's the point.
Yeah,
it's a 2-stage boss thing.
That's the nice part about you guys using those shit buttons is now I get to give you new ones. That's the thing is, if you have a party that just hoards them, I have them already written down on a piece of paper, all the cool items that are really, really useful. And I'm only going to give 1 out at a time, until you use them. Then I'm like, eh.
In fairness,
because I don't want you guys to have a stack of oh shit buttons that you can end any combat for a week straight,
In
I want
fairness,
you to be desperate
healing potions are to an extent oh shit buttons because they're so expensive to buy.
Also, as well, that's why
I was really worried that I used my one up on me. Now I've got another one. Put it around my neck.
I think just about everybody's used theirs, right? Who has health potions left?
There's only 1 left to party, right? If that.
So that's 200 gold gone right there. Those things get expensive real fast.
Mm-hmm.
But they are nice for quick healing. If you guys are heals light, you guys are a really heals light party, and it's only going to get worse as you get higher level because you're going bard, right? You're not actually going to put more into cleric.
Any more in cleric wouldn't actually benefit me. I've got the big buff from cleric, and bard can pick up healing spells. I only miss out on a couple. I can get most of them. And I'm actually going to be a really effective healer just because of the first level in life cleric. My only issue is getting hold of some resurrection shit.
Yeah, you guys are moving towards not the end of the Woodley arc, but you're definitely more than halfway through at this point. And from here, it's going to be... It's already been gloves off, because it took me a lot of sessions to figure out the balancing for D&D. It's really easy to feel like you're throwing softballs at people, and you just can't challenge them. And you just keep tuning, and you just keep tuning, and you keep fiddling with it. And so now I feel like I've got it at a really good point, but the gloves are going to be off probably from this fight forward where, if somebody goes down or somebody dies, that's part of D&D. I mean,
if you're taking the kids' gloves off, are you putting on those big old green Hulk gloves that make the sounds when you punch them? That'd be amazing.
No, the kid gloves, I think you guys have noticed that the kid gloves have been off for the last 2 or 3 combats, have been something to consider. I've had you guys, that's the point at which I know I'm doing a good job is when I see you guys using spells. Not just Adavi, but when I start seeing Mormon using spells and, I start seeing different play. When I see Nasad burning key is when I really know I'm doing a good job. That's when I know shit's really going down because he's stingy with his key. He never spends it.
No, he tends to spell it quite a lot. In this combat, he spent 2 before this episode because he was on defense all the time.
Yeah, that's how I knew. The last 2 fights, he's actually been using it, whereas before, I don't think he spent a single key point for the entire underground dungeon. And then...
Did he even have key then? Because he was level 2. We were level 2 for the entire underground dungeon. He wouldn't have if he was level 2, because he was level 1 monk, which doesn't have it. It's level 2 monk. And we weren't level 3 till we left the dungeon.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
For me, it's action surge. I always keep that till I really, really need it. Or I can do a cool thing like get someone in the face with an axe.
Yeah, you didn't look
Or-
at your sword. You didn't look at your sword.
I was gonna get around to it. We'll have a look.
You need
Yeah,
to give
yeah.
it to a Davi so we can like Arcana the shit out of that thing.
See, here's the thing. I finally got the pearl for Identify. I traded Identify away this level to get a level 2 spell. I'll have to get another one back next time I level up.
Oh no.
Because I was like, I've been waiting for pearl for a little while. Like, I need level 2 spells. I don't get that many because of the way I've leveled up. I get level 2 spells after I get my level 2 slots, so I desperately need them when I get them. So I won't trade out a level 1. So I trade out my Identify. I was like, I don't know when a pearl's going to show up, so I traded that away. Now I'm like, when I level up, I'll have to get Identify back.
Oh, I specifically put it there. I was like, he's been wanting to cast Identify for a while. I'll throw a Pearl in on this one because they got basically a little over halfway through the arc now. They're at like level 4. Sure, I'll give them an Identify spell so that like at the end of the combat they got like 1 or 2 slots left. They can just like face roll their way through the first couple items I give them as loot. I didn't know you traded it out, or I would have swapped it out for something else.
It's fine. Like I will pick up Identify soon.
You got that pimp.
Sorry, Dax was asking Adavi if he needed any specific gems, and yeah, for
50
the
gold
level 1
diamond.
spell. Exactly.
Chromatic
Chromatic Orb.
Yeah,
Yes.
baby. It's such a good
I
spell.
had this written down. I'm like, I want this at some point. I want this at some point. I want this at some point. I don't have fucking diamonds.
It's in there. You got yourself a diamond.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Isn't that like 3d6 and you can pick like most types of damage?
No. It's 3d8.
Sorry, 3d8. Yeah.
And you can pick acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder.
See, that's
for each orb.
That's the sort of spell that I'm like, that's just flat out better than Guiding Bolt. Because Guiding Bolt is 3d6, so you do more damage. Guiding Bolt gives me the advantage if I hit someone, the next attack on them has advantage. But you get to
Right.
pick like something that they're not resistant to, something they're weak to. You can flip it around.
Anybody
It's
in
just
armor
really
can
nice.
just cast lightning for advantage. I mean,
And
does it have an attack
it's-
roll or a save?
The attack roll, isn't it?
Attack
Guiding
roll,
Bolt,
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good with lightning. Then that's fantastic with lightning.
And I'm wondering how that works specifically, because it says it's a 4-inch diameter sphere. If there's two things close enough that they're less than 4 inches apart, could it technically hit two things?
If it does it say it's an area effect, like 4-inch sphere?
No, it says you target a creature, but
You-
it says you're hurling a 4-inch sphere.
Like if you were aiming it at that point, you'd have to hit it so bang on.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
I'd probably rule it just as being like a
Meant to be like you're
Something
throwing
like-
a stone, kind of like.
something like a fiery bolt that you fired out of a crossbow. Like technically, if you could get it close enough between two people, it might burn both of them. But I would still just have it with ranged rules. Where do you have to roll 3 attacks for that? One for each orb, or are they all controlled by the first
It's one
roll?
orb.
It's one orb. That's when it's not quite as good, because if you're just going after mooks or anything that's small like those dogs or whatever, you won't want to do 30 damage to a dog.
Well, 3d8
Yeah.
is what average of 9, 4.5, 13.5 damage. Like the dogs were, how much HP were the dogs?
The dogs were like 5 or 6 HP, just enough to
Yeah.
where you couldn't like sneeze on them and kill them, but they'd probably die in one hit if you could land on them.
So maybe
See,
it's not
I-
much for dogs, but
I don't think I would ever use the orb at level 1, because higher levels it does 1d8 more. 1d8 more.
Yeah,
It's
but-
like, why not?
because quite honestly, they don't scale as well. Like a level 2 spell is nearly always going to be better than a level 1 spell at level 2. Not always, but most of the time.
They do it on purpose to keep you from multi-classing into something and then just overcasting everything.
Yeah.
So the pure spells that you get in your level ups tend to be a little bit better, but if you're overcasting, it means you've got to spend less XP dipping into other classes, and so that's the trade-off. So it's kind of like one of those things. But yeah, Chromatic Orb is a fantastic spell. That's
Yeah.
a really, really good choice. Basically, with the sack that you got with the gems, assume there's 200 gold worth of gems in there, and they can be whatever you want. And so you needed a pearl worth 100.
A gem of 50, and then I guess 50 gold worth of other miscellaneous stuff now.
Exactly. That's how I was going to explain it to you, but we ran out of time. So basically, I wanted you guys to fill out. I feel like I've been depriving you guys of loot. And so I wanted you with the next couple arcs to really get like everybody gets a thing, Everybody gets a thing that is definitely useful to them too. Like Adavi has no robe that's any type of special. When he plays around with the mirrored robe, he's going to find out that that's a fun little item. You got
Like
the
we just
rapier, which we
rejected
haven't
that.
played around. Yeah, he's nah. Fuck that thing.
We're all getting our cool stuff, and he's like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Uh,
Just to wear mirrors.
Davy, do you want to just grab your diamond and put it on your character sheet now so that I remember?
Yep, already done.
Good. I've put 50 gold pieces worth of gems then on mine.
Okay. And then Mormon got his two-handed sword. Nasan, what did Nasan get? Nasan got something. Did he not get anything this time around? He didn't get anything this time around, but I think his is coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, he got the spear, so he got the first item of loot.
Yeah.
And I did suggest the ring to Nasan because I know he didn't get anything.
Yeah, he's going back to... he's going to get some very, very specific stuff if you guys go back to the Croftwood Circle after resolving all this. So it's like, you guys are about to have even more loot. Because you guys didn't get anything for...
Oh, yeah. Are we closer to Woodley or the Croftwood Circle right now?
You're pretty far from both. You're about a day from the ruins. The ruins were about a day and a half or so from the Croftwood. And it'd be about 3 days back to Woodley from where you're at. So you're about 3 days out from both.
So we would go to the Croftwood because it's the closest to get Frog some help.
Yeah.
And then it'd let us go via the ruins and see what progress had been made.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Speaking of, I need to find out if there's any more dwarves on this island.
No.
That's some mining to do.
No, they were chopped up for ones. Dwarf ones.
Well, you
That's
found...
the point, yeah. Apparently they're all being murdered.
You know what you're gonna learn? You're gonna learn that thing has no magical stuff to it at all. It's just a little clogged up, but once you clear it out a little bit, it's a whistle. It's a dog whistle.
I was gonna say,
That's
like,
all
it's just like, you know, a pipe for smoking weed.
There you go.
Think dog-related activities when trying to figure out what it does.
Oh, it could
So we're
be.
just gonna end up burying it.
It could be the wife of the what's his name? The dude who owns the mine that got shut down now runs a little smithy.
Deep Brow.
Deep Brow. It could be Deep Brow's wife. That's her leg.
I'm gonna make sure to find out what this is, and if possible, whose it is before I encounter like someone who the owner of it was dear to.
Well, if
or
I
whatever.
still had identify,
It'd
we'd be
really
fine.
awkward.
Well,
I'm sure you'll
all
get it
things
back.
I will. I'll pick it back up.
all things to discuss in our next episode and our next after show. I think we're about ready to wrap it up right now.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. If for anybody's wondering, Avic's not here because he had dental work done, and so his jaw is very, very painful right now, and so he was really struggling with the show today, but he toughed it out like a champ, and so we let him off the leash for the after show. We will see you all next time. Thanks for supporting us. Bye-bye, everybody.
Roll safe.
Have a good one. Roll safe.